Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video. This is going to be my first set of all new Dollar Tree Halloween DIYs for 2024, and I truly love each and every DIY in this video. All of these DIYs are going to be very easy to recreate, and best of all, they have a very high-end feel to them. And if you are new here, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below. All right, let's jump right into it. For this first DIY, we're going to need this round wood cutout from Dollar Tree and some white spray paint. We're also going to need this wood cutout from the Halloween section at Dollar Tree. And for this one, I'm going to be painting it this gorgeous color that I just found and I am obsessed with it. It is Rustoleum Dark Walnut. The color is absolutely stunning. So here it is right here. It almost comes off black, but it does have those really warm brown undertones. So we're just going to go ahead, paint the round one white, paint this one the dark walnut color, and then I'm going to attach the two using some hot glue. You can also use wood glue for this. They do sell that at Dollar Tree. It is just your personal preference. I found that the hot glue does work really well. I always use my Gorilla Hot Glue sticks, and everything will be listed down below that I am using in today's video. And here is how it turned out. It is a very fast DIY, but it is so beautiful. There are so many intricate details in this wood cutout here, and they really just come to life when you have those contrasting colors. For this DIY, I'm going to be using this plastic skull from Dollar Tree, and I picked up this one because it does have that flat top, and we will be needing a flat top for this DIY. First, I'm going to get started by spray painting it with that same dark walnut color because it is just so gorgeous, and you're going to really be able to see the finish here. It is just perfection. I absolutely love it. Now the plate I'm going to be attaching to this skull is a little bit heavy, so I do just want to weigh it down with some marbles. You can pick these up at Dollar Tree. Even some small pebbles would work for this. If you have a lighter plate going on top, you could probably skip this step, but I just wanted to make sure it was nice and sturdy. And to attach my plate on top, I am using E6000. That way it's just going to give it that super strong permanent hold. So I'm going around the entire edge, and then I'm going to be adding this black plate that I found in the kitchenware area at Dollar Tree on top. Once you place it on top, you just want to give it a firm press, and you do want to let this set overnight so it can just have a lot of time to fully dry and adhere. And here it is when it is done. This makes for the best treat tray or cake stand for a Halloween party, but until then, I'm just going to use mine to showcase some decor. So I added these two candles that I purchased from Hobby Lobby along with this white pumpkin, which was actually a Dollar Tree DIY from a few years ago. This haunted house sign, in my opinion, is one of the best signs that Dollar Tree has ever come out with. For $1.25, it is so beautiful. I love all of the colors. There are so many details, and there are even some 3D elements. So for this DIY, you're just going to need this sign and also one of the small stand-up signs from Dollar Tree, the wooden ones. There are a bunch of different designs. I just went with this pumpkin one here, but there are a few others. So all we're going to do is just add some hot glue to the pumpkin and then attach our sign to it. It is super simple, but it just basically makes this hanging sign a stand-up decor piece. Now, if you want to take it one step further, you will notice that there is a small little hole at the top, and it is the perfect size for one of the back clips from Dollar Tree. All you have to do is just pull off that little metal clip on the back and insert it into the hole up top. You can add some hot glue if you want. I didn't, but you definitely can if you just want to make it super secure. It is just the perfect little addition to the top of it. It goes with the other bats on the moon, but it just makes it a little bit more 3D and special. These 3D tinsel characters are great because with just a little bit of effort, we can give them a complete makeover. So for the ghost one here, I'm actually going to be using some of the super soft chenille yarn from Dollar Tree. And then for the hat and the boot, I'm going to be using something else. But let's get started with our ghost first. So just one roll of the yarn is more than enough. But first, we just have to remove the tinsel. It's pretty simple to remove. You kind of just have to get it started on the bottom, and then it just starts to unravel all the way off of the form. But for the ghost, I actually did want to just pull off the eyes and the mouth. That way I could reuse them later on. You don't have to. You can definitely just cut out some pieces of felt, but I just felt like these were already the perfect size, so we might as well reuse them. Pretty easy to pull off, but you just want to be careful not to rip them because they are just paper. Now just grab one end of your yarn, and to attach it to the form to make sure that it is nice and secure, I am going to loop it through the top and just create a knot. I'm just going to double knot it. That way I know it's not going to move around at all. You can go ahead and just trim that tail off or just tuck it into the form. Either way. Now you're going to see that the form actually has these little knobs on the side, and that's where you're basically just going to wrap around and make sure your yarn is secured in between those knobs. And it really is that simple. You basically just start wrapping away. When I got to the arms, you're going to see I basically just tried to mimic the way that the tinsel was wrapped around them. So for that, it just kind of crisscrossed, but I will show you that when I get to that step. This one was fully wrapped in just a few minutes. I feel like it looks like it takes a long time, but it really doesn't. So now for the arms, I just brought it down and I'm going to wrap it around one arm all the way, and then once I'm done with that one arm, I am going to cross it to the other side of the ghost and just wrap the second arm and then continue on to the body. Once I get to the bottom, I do just cut off the yarn and tuck in that tail. You can tie it off to the bottom if you want to, but I felt like this was definitely secure and it wasn't going anywhere. Now the last step is just to hot glue the eyes and the mouth on, and our ghost is finished. Now let's move on to the witch hat and the boot. So for this one, I'm actually going to be using some black twine that I found on Amazon. I will be sure to link that one down below. The entire roll was pretty inexpensive, and I was able to wrap the witch hat as well as the boot with the twine, and I still had plenty left over. So if you wanted to do a few more, you would definitely have enough from just this one roll. But again, I'll be sure to link that one down below in the video description box as well as in the comments. And if you ever are looking for any of those links, and you are on a mobile device, you just have to click on the title of the video and it should open up that entire description box for you. So for the witch hat, we're just going to get started by wrapping it around the top of the hat, and this is very similar to the ghost. But to wrap the brim of the hat here, you can either take the twine and just basically kind of wrap it around and do it that way. If you do want to kind of wrap it around going front to back, I would say start with that before you wrap the body of the hat. I decided just to kind of continue going around the hat, and to secure it to the brim, I did just add hot glue in a few spots and just kept wrapping until I got to the end. And here is the hat with the brim fully covered. And for the boot, it was just the same exact steps. This one was actually really straightforward, similar to the ghost. You kind of just wrapped it until you got to the bottom. And here is both of them when they were fully complete. I love these. They are kind of a make under from that tinsel look. They're definitely more muted, but I just think they're so pretty, especially the ghost. He just looks so soft and cuddly now. And we actually are going to be using that witch hat in our next DIY. So if you want to do this one here, you might want to wrap the hat. If not, you can definitely just leave the hat in the tinsel form and it will also work for this DIY. So for this DIY, we're going to be using some fairy lights and one of the glass vases from Dollar Tree. Now to get started, I'm just going to add some batteries to my fairy lights and add them into my vase. If you can't find these ones, there are a bunch of different ones to choose from and a bunch of different colors to choose from in the Halloween area at Dollar Tree. Next, we're going to need one of the mop heads, and you can find this in the cleaning area at Dollar Tree. All you have to do is just take it out of the package and basically flip it upside down into our vase here, and then you just want to let those mop strands fall all around. You can kind of help them and just guide them down the vase, but they should drape over perfectly right to the bottom of the vase. Now we can add that witch hat to the top of our ghost here. And the last step is just going to be giving him some eyes. Now you can paint some eyes on, you can cut some eyes out of felt and glue them on. I'm actually going to be using this black vinyl from Dollar Tree, and you can basically just treat this like sticker paper. Just cut out any shape you like and then just peel it off the backing, or if you have a cutting machine like a Cricut, you can use that to cut some ovals for you. But again, there are a few different options here. One, you can actually use your fingers to unravel some of the mop strands just to kind of give it more of a shaggy look, but I thought that this one looked so cute just like this. And my favorite is at nighttime when it starts to get a little bit darker and the ghost is lit up. He just has such a warm glow to him and just a sweet look. Dollar Tree came out with this plate set this year. I knew I wanted to use in a DIY because it is just so gorgeous. So for this one, I'm going to be using one of these bowls and these smaller plates from this collection at Dollar Tree. The first thing we have to do is just flip our plate upside down, and we are going to glue the bowl to the bottom of it. For this step, you do want to use a permanent glue like E6000 or something else that's really going to give it a nice strong hold. So I'm going ahead, just going around the edge, making sure to just be generous with it. And now I'm just going to apply it to the bottom of my plate. I'll give it a little bit of pressure, and then again, you do want to let this sit overnight if you can, or at least a few hours. Now, while that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and get started on these mini skulls. And I do want to paint them with that same dark walnut color because, again, it is just my new favorite. It is so pretty. So here is how these turned out. And now that this is nice and secure, I'm going to go ahead and just glue these around the edge of my plate. I started off by using the same E6000, but then I quickly realized it was not going to work because this glue does take a little bit of time to basically set. So in the meantime, they were slipping and sliding all over my plate. So I actually did end up switching to hot glue to attach these to my plate, and it worked out just fine. And I decided to use this one as a candle holder. This flameless candle here is from Walmart. I really like this one. It's inexpensive and it is on a timer, which is perfect. And I just feel like this one has such a high-end feel to it. DIY, you're going to need one of these wood bead loops from Dollar Tree and these felt shapes. So I went with the ghost. There are several to choose from. I believe they had a black cat and some bats, but I thought that the ghost would be really fun. So depending on how long you want your garland to be, that's going to determine how many of the felt shapes you need and also how many of these wood bead loops. So if you want to make yours extra long, you might want to double up on both. But my garland is going to be pretty small, so I'm only going to end up using about 5 or 6 ghosts and one of these wood bead loops here. So the shapes actually have a few different cutouts, but you do have to pop them out yourself. And then I just took my hole punch and added 2 holes to each side. So I'm going to need to basically just cut the wire here because I do need to get the wood beads off of this loop. That way I can add them to my garland. But you actually can just buy wood beads at Dollar Tree. It's just they don't always have them in stock when I'm looking for them, but they do usually have these in the floral department. So this is another great option if you're just looking to do a craft with some wood beads. You can usually find them right here. So now for my garland, I'm just going to cut a piece of twine however long I need it to be. And then you can just add a little loop to the end. That is just something I like to do for personal preference. It just makes it super easy to hang up when I want to display it somewhere. And now for my little garland here, I wanted to go with 6 wood beads and then a ghost and then followed by 6 wood beads. But again, definitely spread it out however long you like. I just thought that that was a nice mix, and we will be using some ribbon in the end. So I did want to make sure to have an even number of wood beads because I will be splitting them in half to add my little ribbon accent. I created a wood bead garland that was pretty similar to this one a few years ago, but I did use the bat shapes instead. But this year I wanted to go with the ghost because I do kind of have a bit of a ghost theme going on with a lot of the Halloween decor pieces that I have picked up. So I felt like this one would go perfectly with that. For the final step, I'm just going to take this spiderweb ribbon from Dollar Tree, cut it into small sections, and then just tie it in between the wood beads. So like I mentioned before, I do have 6 here, so I'm going to split them in half and just have 3 on each side. And you could definitely cut it a little bit longer, add a bow if you want to. I'm just doing a simple knot, and then I'm going to just basically try to pull the little tails down. That way it just has a fun little accent in between the wood beads. And then I just repeated that same step for each section. Here's a closer look at how this one turned out. And I think it would also be really fun to pick up some of the other felt shapes from Dollar Tree and add them into this garland and just have all of the spooky Halloween characters. And that is everything for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one. I had so much fun making it. You guys will have to let me know down below in the comments which one is your favorite. I usually have a favorite from these videos that I really like the best, but I have to say I don't know if I have a favorite for this video. I really do love all of them. Just finished filming 2 more Halloween Dollar Tree DIY videos, and I will have another one in addition to that. So trust me, you do not want to miss them. So definitely hit that subscribe button and come back soon. Thank you so much for watching.